It is Factor 5 Live, Tuesday, April 27th. That makes it 4/27, so very cool day. Got a lot of news to talk about, some fun things on the horizon. Just off the top of my head, I was thinking we got the Waverly School. We had our Lagano challenge car at the school for the last 3 or 4 months. These kids are building these cars, kind of give them some kind of inspiration. But talk about Lagano. If you guys saw Lagano's wreck at Talladega this weekend, it reminded me, it was only a year ago, and Ryan Newman flipped and got T-boned, and anybody watching Ryan Newman thought he was gone. Same with Lagano. When I saw that accident, I was like, ush, but some bangs and bruises, but apparently he's doing all right. So thumbs up to Joey. Hopefully he's not banged up too bad. Let's see here. I just read online also that CDC is lifting some of the guidances for outdoor. I guess you don't have to wear a restrictor plate if you're outdoors and you've been vaccinated. I wasn't wearing them outdoors anyway, but grab a seat. Event news, Dave, just correct me if I'm wrong. We got sound, yeah?
Yes, I got you both saying sounds good.
Yeah, so Penske Ford 22, Joey Lagano, hope you're doing well. That was a scary accident, and just reminds everybody how dangerous racing is. And anyway, event news at Factory 5. This weekend coming up was Detroit Autorama. Big show. We were there last year with Ford. We had our anniversary car, the silver car in the back, and we're going to provide a car to Ford this year, but Michigan has had a spike in coronavirus, so that show's been canceled. So Autorama, it wasn't really, Dave, was it on the schedule?
Yes, it was.
And then it's been canceled now, right?
Yes.
So Autorama's canceled. The first real show of the year looks like it's going to be, and again, it's not on our schedule, London Cobra Show. And a lot of guys asked me about London Cobra Show. I'm going to go. I'll take my coupe out, this car probably, and I'll have a booth and I'll invite customers to join me. So last year we had like 15 customers in our area at London Cobra Show, and a lot of guys have asked if we're going to have a hot rod or a GTM or an 818, and really it's the London Cobra Show. So other than Cobras and coupes, it's really not something I'd bring any of that other stuff out to. And I should mention the showroom. I mean, Mad Dog, you've been doing tours, right?
Yes.
But tours are limited to the showroom and scheduled only.
Yes.
So you can come and visit, you can hang out in the showroom. It stinks because we got so many cool things to show folks. My younger brother was here earlier in the week, last Saturday, and I walked him through the building, and we only had Jared here and Brent doing parts, and he was blown away with all the things we've done in the last year. Really, while we're kind of hibernating with COVID, we couldn't go to shows and events, so we did a lot of upgrades on the facilities. Can't show you all those things other than what you see online, but you can schedule a tour to check out the cars in the showroom. Syracuse is July 16th and 18th. We're going to go to Syracuse, so I'll go to London Cobra Show. Syracuse Nationals, so far that looks like it's in good shape. And then right after Syracuse, at the end of July, is the Experimental Aircraft Association Show, EAA, and also NSRA the following weekend. So EAA is July 26th to August 1st, and NSRA Louisville is August 5th to the 8th. And I should mention August 26th, Mass Cruisers, that's the Patriot Place Bass Pro Shop cruises all year long, well, all summer, starting in May now. Every other Thursday, they have a cruising up there, and it can be 3,000 cars. It's pretty cool. And it's a Thursday night cruising. If the weather's great, it's a fun place to be. But we have a Factory 5 night like we've done for the last couple of years. Sally set it up with John Buchanan. It's going to be this year, August 26th is going to be the Factory 5 night. Dave, did you put that on the website?
Yes.
Okay, so the new, yeah, okay. Let's see, open house. My nephew's getting married on the date that we originally had open house, and since I get to do these things, I changed it to the following week. So it's September 18th now for our open house. And assuming things continue to go the way they're going with COVID in Massachusetts, we'll be able to host our open house. Like next Thursday, we have a limit of 100 people are allowed in the building. It's not open to the public. We have a special guest. We'll do it on Facebook Live like this. SEMA then comes in November, and right after SEMA, we're planning on having Huntington Beach. And I know a lot of guys have been talking to me about Huntington Beach, about maybe the weather's kind of sketchy, but if you look at the weather on the NOAA charts, it seems like Huntington in April is a carbon copy of the weather at the beginning of November. So we can get lucky, have a nice weekend. That's what we're going to hope for, because our truck and all our stuff is out at SEMA. So you'll get to see the F9, and I should talk about the F9. Yeah, so Eric Treves is one of our best customers, master builder. He's a helicopter pilot, mechanic, and there's nothing he can't build. He's built some SEMA winning cars. You guys know about it. If you want to watch it's really not our beta car. It's really almost an alpha car. There's things about the car that are not done, such as the interior. Well, there's a build thread on the Factory 5 forum that Eric posts, and I said, Eric, you can post anything you want alongside the build. So most of the threads so far, the thread is called the F9 SEMA build. So if you go to thefactory5forum.com and you look at one of the threads is on the F9 SEMA build. That's Eric. You can post questions on that. Some of the questions I've heard on that, I mean, Dave, a lot of people were asking about the body work and why are we painting it if it's a paint-free body. We're painting it because that first paint-free body wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough to clear. There were some ripples in it and stuff. So we're doing some body work and painting that one. The next couple bodies that have come in were better. I think the third one will be the charm, but that's one of the design goals on the car. But still, I think the car will look better painted. I think like a bright silver or a metallic red. We'll still keep a lot of carbon highlights, so when you walk up to the car, you'll know the carbon body is all carbon. You know, any questions on the build, you can post them on the forum. I know Jim's kind of following it along, but you know, Eric and Jim are working really, really closely, you know, on that car and making sure that as Eric goes through the development stuff, any questions he has, he's going back and forth with Jim. There's not too much on the car that hasn't developed other than the interior. There's some hinge issues and some other things, but those are kind of routine. We'll show the car at SEMA, and that was the original plan. We also have 2 Trans Am teams that are going to be campaigning the car next year, and those teams are going to be present at SEMA, and we'll talk about the teams and the effort for next year. So we'll be able to incorporate a lot of their on-track experience as the car nears production in 2022. Dave, I suppose there's questions, but it's hard when we're doing this and we don't have someone else.
Not many.
Answer the questions later, but if you see a really critical question,
Yep.
Parts delays, oh boy. I think, you know, I said this in one of the last things, this isn't our problem, this is the whole planet's problem. And it's not just a transportation issue, it's not just a labor issue, it's not just a materials problem. You know, you see it and everybody talking about the cost of plywood, it's the cost of everything. And you know, maybe if you look at monetary policy and you look at how much money's been pumped into all these different economies, maybe there's real inflation happening. Maybe there's demand in certain sectors. Certainly our sector, the automotive parts sector, has been under huge pressure. So we are doing everything we can on the supply side. I had Brent give me a report just this morning on where we are. The most critical backorder part right now is spindles. Those are it's not an SN95 spindle, it's not an 87 to 93 spindle, but we made our own spindles when we did the hot rod. And then those spindles will incorporate into the Mark IV. Those are our own forged spindles and machined. We've got 572 sets done by mid-May. I'm trying to air freight 50 of them in the next week or two for people who are critical, who are ready to drive the car, but they have no spindle. So really sorry about spindles, it's been tough. Steering wheels, for some reason, of all the parts we've got out there, steering wheels have been a problem. They're set up to come in these arrive in June. Right now we owe 64 steering wheels. 64 guys are waiting for a steering wheel. Rear shocks within the next week. Coney shocks have been all over the map in delivery, and I think that has to do with a lot of their sub-assemblies and parts. Wheels are a really tough one. Anybody wants wheels, they're looking everywhere for wheels. It's kind of one of the first things you do. Get your car on the ground, you want to put wheels on it. And then the last one is Aston Le Mans gas caps. Actually, Ray Morrow, who used to run R&R, gave me a special bronze gas cap when he was selling the business, and he gave me one for all the gas caps we've done. It's in the trophy case over there. It's chromed, but it's bronze, so it weighs, it's a good paperweight. I guess the point on the parts side is every single person in this building is doing everything we can to get parts in and shipped out, especially on the international orders. That's really hard because you ship a car to New Zealand, and if you don't have the wheels cost $1,000 to ship to New Zealand, and a lot of times there's customs issues where if the parts aren't with the original shipment, it causes problems. So we're really working, and it's almost on an individual basis with people, doing the best we can. The good news is a lot of people are building cars. The bad news is the supply chain isn't just there. And usually I can do a mea culpa a year or two ago. Maybe we're asleep at the wheel, we're not buying the parts. In this case, we're buying all the parts we can. And we got great cash flow models and great ability to buy them. We just don't have the ability to get them in the building. It's just a supply issue. David, I can talk to individual parts questions. If someone has a question, they can go through to Dan or whatever that goes. But that actually leads me to Galuba Klops. Dan Galoob has been in tech for, God, I don't know, how many years has he been here? 15?
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same as you, right?
A little bit less, but
It's hard to hear you with your restrictor plate on.
It's right, yeah. I've been here for 16 years, and he's been here for like 14 or 15, yeah.
Yeah, so a fixture in Factory 5. He went and took a job with Speedway. Good guys there, but the job didn't work out. He called me up and I said, come on back. Everybody runs their own company, runs their own philosophy in life. I don't like to hire people back. If someone leaves, we don't have a lot of turnover. But recently, maybe in the last 5 years, I've noticed we've had some great people that have had opportunities elsewhere, and sometimes they don't work out. And I've kind of welcomed back with open arms, as well I do with Dan. So super happy to have Dan back in tech. We've got 5 great guys in tech. If you got a question, Dan at Factory 5, he's here, especially on the GTM side, LS engine side, he's an expert. He built his own twin turbo coupe. So Dan's, we're happy to have him back. And drop the papers left and right. Let's see, what else I got? I got to mention our special guest. I mentioned it 10 times. It was delayed. What was the date? He was here a month ago. It was
supposed to be April 8th.
April 8th. So he was supposed to be here April 8th. There was an issue. Had to reschedule till May 6th. So next week, Thursday, I have someone visiting Factory 5 who I hold in the highest regard of anyone I've ever met. And that's saying a lot. So a lot of people in the car industry I've met. And it's a surprise. No one knows who it is. I had Henry up here to help me meet this guy, and I had some other people planned. Henry's not going to be able to come back. He's got a family conflict, so he can't come. But it's next Thursday. Should be a fun time. We're going to broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. 3 charity cars building right now. We've got 2 cars being built by Jonathan over at Austin Hatcher. That's a coupe and a roadster. And then we've also got the St. Jude car. Mike Bray and his team of FedEx pilots are building a car for St. Jude. I think that car is going to be auctioned. I can't remember when the auction is, Dave. I think it was in August, maybe late July. At St. Jude, they have a big charity ball, and they auction the car off live. And then Korea told me that we just had another car ordered by St. Jude. They want to build a second car. Now, we didn't donate the second car. We donated the first car 100%. The second car they bought, we give them a small discount. But and a lot of guys have asked about sale and discount, and I have to tell you, our materials prices are so high that our sale or our discount or anything we could ever do is already out the window with steel, aluminum, tube steel especially. I mean, across the board, fasteners, everything is just more expensive. So, when you're looking at economics, there is real, inflationary pressure on the market right now, at least, like I said, in the sector that we're at. I don't know, Dave, I got some personal news. Yeah. My daughter Maddie is coming home in a week. She's going to be going to, thumbs up, Dave's like, get help here? No, she's going to go to Babson MBA program. So she moves home in a week, shipped her car out here, and she's going to start out. And actually, I gotta send a shout out to a customer. You know what? I always say what a great community Factory 5 is. I have a customer, and I had to write the guy's name down, Michael Clay. Maybe in January, you remember I posted that picture of Nicole's elbow out of joint? My daughter got thrown off her horse and dislocated her elbow, pretty nasty, and it could have been worse. And this guy Michael on Factory 5's Facebook page right here said, hey, there's this hip, it's a pneumatic equestrian vest that you can wear. It's very similar to MotoGP riders who have pneumatic vests and collars around their neck. So I went out and I bought it for my daughter. I told her, I don't want you riding horses without this thing. Well, guess what happened? So, Michael, thank you. My daughter was riding, her horse was running a little hard, went into a turn, kind of slipped. The horse went nose face over, threw Nicole off the horse. Guess what happened? The pneumatic vest inflated, up around her collar, unhurt, not a scratch. And for you guys who have daughters and kids who ride horses, it's such a profoundly dangerous sport. And like all the things we do, we've been working with, insurance companies and having all these waivers. Building your own car is dangerous. Riding motorcycles is dangerous. most of the things in life that are so exciting and thrilling that make you feel so alive also have the unfortunate ability to kind of turn that around. And so, you know, we owe it as professionals to use the best safety equipment possible. I didn't even know about this vest, and it potentially saved my daughter from serious injury, you know, or worse. So huge thank you to the Factory 5 community. Dave, did I miss anything? I mean, it's just kind of a
Sounds like you hit everything.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If anybody's got any questions, you can go online. I'll answer questions on Facebook. You know, the crew's doing really great here. I think in 27 years, I've never had this company working so well together. When I say well, you get a chance to run your own company, you have a chance to put your own philosophy into a company. And I always say that the philosophy of Factory 5 is to build. You know, we don't just build cars, we build family stories, we build careers. Well, we've wrecked your career, right, Dave?
I keep a smile on my face.
We build heirlooms, we build, you know, value. If the parts we sell you aren't worth more when you're done building them, then we didn't do our job. Well, fellowship around here builds things, and we build fellowship. And right now, we really are hitting our stride as a company. I walk around the building and everybody's helping each other. It's not just helping customers, it's helping each other inside the building. I mean, Derek and John in welding and CNC are supplying stuff to Nate and the boys in the warehouse. They're shipping parts out. I mean, Bobby McGee in shipping is rocking. Ricky Bobby's loading up right now. These are all nicknames, but everybody's helping each other. And it's such a great thing to see. And maybe it's a function of this COVID year. We've been locked inside and had to deal with each other for a year. Had to care for each other, take care not to get each other sick. I just see an awful lot of fellowship. So I can't wait to get on the road to some of these shows and events. I think London Cobra Show will be a ton of fun. I'm hoping that COVID continues to clear. If there's anything else that I missed, I'll circle back on Facebook. I think just if there's one thing I could ask you, next Thursday, May 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to introduce you to someone that is going to blow your mind. And in this world where maybe the worst of us are celebrated as heroes and the best of us are celebrated as villains, this is a great reminder of who the best of us are. And I can't spill the beans, but you're gonna love this guy. And so Dave, Factory 5 out. I'll check the comments. See you guys. Thanks, Dave.